Hey guys, welcome back. Now let's get started with our day 3 walkthrough. So you guys can go ahead and read the story. Now coming to the learning objectives. After completing this task, you will understand password complexity and the number of possible combinations, how the number of possible combinations affect the feasibility of a brute force attack, generating password combinations using Crunch, and trying out passwords automatically using Hydra. Feasibility of brute force. In this section, we will answer the following 3 questions. How many different pin codes do we have? How many different passwords can we generate? How long does it take to find a password by brute force? Now let's consider a scenario of a 4-digit pin code. Each value can range from 0 to 9, which is 10 different possibilities. So since there are 4 digits, it will become 10 into 10 into 10 into 10, which becomes 10 raised to 4. So that means there are 10 raised to 4 different possible passwords. Now let's consider another scenario where the password length is exactly 4 characters, which contains a digit, uppercase and lowercase letters. So in this case, each field can have 10 plus 26 plus 26, which is 62 different possibilities. So since we have 4 characters, it will become 62 into 62 into 62 into 62, which sums up to 14 million. So as you can see here in the table, as the password length increases, the number of possible passwords increase exponentially. Say for example, it takes 0.001 seconds to try one password. That means we can only try 1000 passwords per second. So it will take up to 4 hours to crack this password of length 4. In reality, when we are cracking a password, the chances of the password becoming at the beginning and at the end of the list is much higher. So on an average, we can expect around 2 hours in reality. We should also note that after a couple of incorrect attempts, it may lock us out. So another way to get around this is to get the hash of the password. So once we have the hash, we can try to crack it offline using tools like Hashcat. So in this case, we would only be limited by how fast a computer is. We can make our passwords more secure by increasing the password complexity. This can be achieved by specifying a minimum password length and a character variety. For example, a character variety might require at least one uppercase letter, one lowercase, one digit, and a special character. So now let's go and start our machine. So before that, if you want to connect your Kali machine to perform these attacks, then you can come here, click on access. Select the server which is closest to your location. Download this configuration file. So once you have downloaded the configuration file, open up your terminal. Now type in sudo open VPN and the location of your configuration file. Enter your password. So now your Kali machine will be connected to the VPN. Now let's go back. Now let's start our machine. So here we can access this on port 8000. And the first task is to generate a password list using the crunch command. So the first digit here stands for the minimum length. This one stands for the maximum length. And this is the character set which is used. And -O specifies that the output has to be saved into this file. So once we have generated our password list, then we need to view the page's HTML code. So you can do that by clicking on right click and viewing the page source. So the important points to note here is the method is post, the action goes to login.php and it uses the name pin to send a password. Then we'll be using Hydra to test every possible password. So this is done instead of manually typing each password, which is not feasible. So we are automating it using Hydra. So here this -L indicates that the login name is blank. -P specifies that this is the password file. -F stops Hydra after finding a working password. And then we give our IP address. So as you can see here, this is divided into 3 parts. So this is the first part, the page where the pin code is submitted. So here we are using this password to substitute each of the values in a file. And if the password is invalid, it leads to a page that contains access denied. And this specifies the port number on the target. So now let's get started. Now let's copy this. So as you can see here, these are the different possible characters. So as you can see here, these are the different input possibilities. Now let's go back. Now let's generate the password list. So open up another terminal. Crunch is inbuilt in Kali. So now we have generated our password list. Now let's go ahead and view the page source. So as you can see here, the method is post here. Action takes us to script login.php. And here the password is passed as pin. So as you can see here, we have successfully cracked the password, which is 6FY. Now let's go and try this out. So as you can see here, we have successfully gained the access. Now let's hit on unlock door. So now let's copy this. Now let's submit the answer. So we have successfully completed the day 3 machine. So first, when I was attempting this from my Kali machine, the Hydra command gave me an output saying the password was found, but the password was invalid. I tried it again and both the times it was the same. I was able to solve this issue after updating the Hydra in my Kali Linux machine. So if any of you guys are facing this issue, you can go and update your Hydra in your Kali Linux machine and that should do. So thank you for watching my video. Stay tuned for more.